All right, let's look at some JavaScript output. We've done a little bit already with like alert and console.log, but the key one in this key thing in this video is I want to look at how JavaScript can change the HTML, change our web page, the HTML and the CSS, so that JavaScript can provide output to the user by modifying what's actually displayed on the web page. Okay, so to do that, we're going to look at here JavaScript output. So yeah, we've already looked at alert and console.log, but we're going to look now at HTML output. And basically what JavaScript can do is it can select elements. One of a common method for JavaScript is to select elements by IDs. And once you select an element by ID, you can change its inner HTML. Basically, its content, right? What's inside of the opening and closing tags. You can change the attributes of the element. So for example, the source attribute of an image. You can change the style by going dot style and then dot whatever property and assign it to a value. So to play around with that, I'm going to show you two things. One is, let's start with going to ali.ca/mrvelkamp/demo, this landing page right here. And we're going to start by playing around in the console. And I just want you to notice here that this paragraph here has an ID and this paragraph here has an ID. Okay, focus and quote. And what I can do with that is I can go document.get, spelled it wrong, element by ID, right? So this is that F stands for it's a function. And to invoke a function, we use parentheses. And then inside of here, we give the ID. So focus like that. And when I run this JavaScript command, it will search the document, which is basically just the HTML document, the web page. And it'll search the document for the element with this ID, and it returns that paragraph element with the ID focus. That paragraph, yeah. And if I did, what was the other one? Quote, I think. Like that. Ta-da, it searches the JavaScript, tells the web browser, search the HTML document for this element with the ID quote, and it gives me that element. So once I do that, I can start doing some things to this element. So let's do the focus one. And the first thing I can do is I can add on here a dot inner HTML. And then actually, if I just do dot inner HTML, it should give me like here it gave me the entire paragraph. The inner HTML should give me the content between the opening and closing tags, which it did return that as a string. Learn more about computing science. So not only can I get the inner HTML, I can assign it to be something else like yo. And if I hit enter now, it'll say, hey, document, find this element with this ID and set its inner HTML property to be yo. And there it is. So that's the idea of output, right? JavaScript can change the web page to provide output to the user, right? This is what the user sees. So it's the output. Okay, so I could do the same thing with quote. And what's a good quote? Oh no, I was gonna do YOLO. That's an awful quote. Sorry. Anyway, it selects that thing. It sets the inner HTML to that quote. Okay, we gotta undo this. That's awful. We gotta go back to Thomas A. Edison. He didn't say YOLO. I'm sure he didn't. Okay. Okay, let's see if we can go back here. Not only can we set the inner HTML, right, the content, we can also set, what was it? Oh, the source. So right here, this image has a source attribute. I would like to be able to change that. However, this image doesn't have an ID. Okay, I think I can actually add attribute ID equals main image, or we'll call it small image, small img. Okay, so I can add that to this, and then let's just quickly find an image. Let's find a different light bulb image. Actually, let's go to Pixabay. Actually, no. Let's just Google search it. Light bulb. Go to our images. We'll say, hey, what's it? That's a cool light bulb right there. I'm going to open image in new tab. Okay, I'm going to actually just take this link right here. Okay, copy. I'm not going to download it or anything. Where was I? Okay, so now it's got the ID small img. So I'm going to go document.getElementById by ID small img dot source is assigned, and then in quotations I'm going to paste that big long thing where that image is stored .jpg, and hopefully it changed it to that image. Now the styling on it had a width and a height, but that's fine. That's fine. Okay, some other things I can do: document.getElementById focus. We can change the style of it. So we can access the style attribute. So this doesn't actually change the CSS file, but it adds a style attribute to the element. And then we can do whatever property we want. So let's go font size. Okay, so actually font size is interesting because normally in CSS, font size is font hyphen size. But JavaScript isn't allowed to have hyphens as variable names or function names or things like that. So we actually have to change it to camel casing font size. And then in quotations, we can put a new font size. Let's go like 12 pixels. Let's make it smaller. Okay, so now it's selected that element. And if we go back here, you can now see it added that style attribute, font size 12 pixels. And this style attribute overrides whatever's in a CSS file. This has the highest priority. Okay, so that's style, and you can do all sorts of stuff, right? We could do any property here, right? We can go color is assigned blue, changes it to blue, all sorts of stuff, borders, whatever you want to do with it. Okay, I think I'm going to leave it at that. Let's just go back here quickly so we can select elements by ID. Once we select that element by ID, we can access its inner HTML and set it to change its content. We can, if it has attributes like a source attribute, we can change its source attribute. We can change its style attribute to be different properties and different values. Okay, and I also created this little practice app here that just has some HTML code, and this is the result of that HTML code, right? Heading 1, subheading 1, etc. Just some dummy stuff. And you hit a generate challenge, and it gives a random challenge. Okay, and then you type your solution into here and hit enter, and it should modify the page. So the image source, well, there's only one image, and it has an ID of img1. So I would go document.getElement. Be careful with the spelling. It has to be camel casing. Get capital E, capital B, capital I. Get element by ID img1 like that. And so that'll tell the document, please find that element, that image element. Now I want to go .src to access its source attribute. And then I want to assign it to be images/lorem ipsum4.jpg. And a semicolon at the end. And if I hit enter, this image should change to a different image. Cool. Okay, let's generate a new challenge. Okay, let's get rid of this. Document.getElementById. Set font size of element with ID li2. So li2 is right there, list item 2. So in quotations, li2. So that should get that element. Now for the font size, that's a style property. So I have to go .style and then font, not hyphen, but camel casing size is assigned 38 pixels. Hit enter, and there it is. It changed it. Okay, generate challenge, font family. I want to do one where it says change the content. There it is. So actually, I'm not going to delete all of this because I can use that document.getElementById li1. I want to change the content, right? So what's inside of it, which is its inner HTML, all capitals HTML, is assigned a llama. Awesome. So list item 1, this one right here, should become llama. Awesome. Okay, and it's a good idea to have your console open because if there are any mistakes, so for example, I did that and I hit enter. Oh, I guess that doesn't give me an error. What if I did this, if I spelled this wrong? There we go. GetElementById is not a function. Okay, so there are some things that give you good errors, some things don't. This doesn't actually give you an error because technically you could be creating a new property on the element and assigning it to be something. So you're allowed to do that. But anyway, good idea to have your console open. Sometimes if you make a little mistake, like maybe I forget that quotation, I bet you that would give me an error. Yeah, missing a bracket or something gives me, says there's something wrong there. Okay, anyway, I should stop there. The key thing here is that we're not just limited to these pop-up windows and typing messages into the console. We can actually use JavaScript to modify the web page, change the content of elements, change the attributes of elements, the styles of elements, and that's pretty cool. Okay, so yeah, try out this practice app just to make sure you understand that, and we'll continue on with the crash course. All right, hope that made sense. Take care, and we'll see you in the next video.